Greetings. Welcome to our series of weekly devotionals. This week we're looking at a very short passage, just 2 verses in chapter 25 of the book of Proverbs. I remember a pastoral colleague of mine years ago. I had gotten on his email list, so I was receiving the emails that he was sending to his congregation, and a series of them were about humility. But they were kind of very fire and brimstone-y emails. He would say things like, humble yourselves. You must swallow your pride. When you think you're doing something good, that's not God. That's the devil seeping in, sneaking into you. So, make sure you don't think you're better than you are. Humble yourselves. Humble yourselves. Very angry sort of tone. And I remember reading those emails and thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I'm glad I'm not a member of this person's church. I would feel terrible about myself. And I don't think that's exactly what humility is after. I mean, there are times when we have to sort of have confidence and be bold when we're like in a job interview, for example, or called to lead a project or a retreat or some kind of workshop. We have to have confidence in our own abilities and in our own capacity to do what God calls us to do. And I think when we look at the 2 characters that are associated with this particular proverb, King Solomon, who wrote the proverb, or who is attributed to anyway, and Hezekiah, King Hezekiah, who compiled the Proverbs, both of these individuals were very flawed. They sinned, they had imperfections, they were weak, but they also had great talents and abilities and charisma and wisdom. And they also did great things as well, and that the 2 kind of exist together. And I think the same is true for all of us. And humility is not sort of berating ourselves or deprecating ourselves, but just understanding, yes, we are not perfect. We have flaws. We have imperfections. It's part of human nature, but we also all have talents and abilities that God has blessed us with. And how are we to use those to fulfill what God has called us to do? And someone once said, humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's just thinking of yourself less. And so part of that nature of humility, I think, is just putting others before yourself. And I think my favorite quote about humility is what I'll leave you with today. It's a quote by the great spiritual writer Thomas Merton, who said, "Humility is being exactly who you are in the presence of God." Amen.